everyone, welcome to Pickleball and Beyond. My name's Ryan.
My name is Vino.
And today we are looking at the Friday.
'Cause I've been waiting so long. It feels like Friday week.
So, Vino, I always ask you your first thoughts, but I'm going to say my
there you
first
go.
thoughts. This paddle is beautiful.
Oh,
All of
yeah.
theirs are so gorgeous. I mean, staying away from specs, the designs they have are like truly special.
Unbelievable. You go onto their website, they have got a collection of really beautiful paddles, and we have already got a ton of comments just while trying them. Where do you get that? That's a really nice paddle.
Every time like we bring this paddle anywhere, everyone just flocks over and they're like, they see that. If you're playing, your opponents will stop mid, like while I'm dinking, they'll say, what paddle is it?
Yeah.
Not to that extent,
Yeah,
but like quite
close
literally
enough.
though, it really stands out.
Yeah, and I think, pickleball meets a variety of demographics. And there's not a lot of paddles that look beautiful. Right? So there's one more paddle that we have been trying, the Rich Cat Supply, and they had two really nice paddles. And that was another one people will immediately come and ask. So following that, this is a phenomenal, beautiful kind of a paddle. Price.
So the price, they had the deal running, that was a super big deal where you could get 2 of these for $99. So if you're looking at $50 a paddle,
you can't beat that.
Yeah, this is a great deal.
Yes, and if you're buying it by itself, I think it's $69. So still pretty good deal, somewhere around there. Check their website out. It's a thermoform paddle.
The grip is something that we both personally don't like.
Again, that's a personal preference. I do not like that ridged grip. I personally like it now because when you even put an over grip, it just becomes extra thick. And apart from that, overall, the paddle's a solid paddle, right? It doesn't feel flimsy, it doesn't feel cheap, because sometimes you go and get like a $70, $80 paddle from Walmart and it feels flimsy, it's already coming apart. This is a solid paddle.
Let's jump right into where we categorize this. So I'd certainly throw this right in the middle of the road between power and control. All around, perfect all around example.
Mind you, we review a whole range of paddles, and lots of the times we kind of compare to very high-end paddles, and it lives right there, right? So when we say like right at the center, that's where we're putting it, right? Control. I was surprised on how well it played at the kitchen. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, from the kitchen, it felt pretty good. I still could tell it felt like, not a high-end paddle, I'll say. It just, there's just a lack of consistency, I think was the big thing. I don't think the sweet spot's all that large on this paddle, but it's still, if you got to the kitchen line, it played very nice. Mind you, I gotta balance the price factor. Right? So
for the price, my goodness, you're getting a whole lot of paddle for that price. And we have played with way more expensive paddles, with way less control and way less, consistency. I mean, like the Vulcans, the 220, the 700 series that came. I would take this anytime compared to that. Get what I mean? So, I mean, just on a comparison basis, it plays well, but you're right. The sweet spot's a little bit less compared to the other.
And I think that's what made drop shots hard. Is balls with a lot of pace. It definitely fell off there for me. Where that's where it's lower end price.
And this, like you guessed, is a painted surface, right? And we have found the painted surface, like it pushes the paddle a little bit harder than dwelling, and so that might be one of the contributing factors. How did you feel the power was?
So from a pop perspective and both the full-on power perspective, again, it's just like, it's like average, right? But that's okay because, I mean, once again, I got to keep going to that price point. To get like a paddle that's, pretty decent in terms of its power, I mean...
And usually you either find a really powerful paddle or a really control-oriented paddle. So when we say it's right at that center, it balances both really well, actually. Fairly, like, you're getting the control as well as you're getting the power, but not excess of either.
Yeah, out of the box, I mean, we'll touch more on spin, but if I were doing drives, it still got, it offered a fair amount of topspin with that good amount of pace that you're looking for, and I still felt like I could hit drops fairly well compared to so many beginner paddles. I started with one of Head's lower end paddles. I mean, a lot of those cheap ones are just like, feels like it's like 2 millimeters thick. They offer absolutely nothing. Where this, you could actually learn to hit relatively consistent drop shots from a beginner's perspective, which is really neat to see.
Again, like the value proposition of Friday was to bring a really good high quality paddle for a great price.
Yep.
And when you look at that value proposition that they're putting out, they have done it.
Yep.
Right? Let's go straight into spin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so out of the box, like we touched on, that painted surface is something super important to remember. And I've heard numerous people say that it does fade off that surface. But while new out of the box, it's actually decent. It's a little below like the average paddle that we look at, but we're looking at $100, $200 paddles. So it's certainly less than those.
Yes.
But it gets some. Again,
fairly decent spin. Yeah. Right? If you are not, and lots of the people that start off with pickleball, they're not really spinning.
Yeah, they don't really care at all.
Right? So unless you're looking for a spinny paddle, then I would look somewhere else.
Yep.
But for an average person, I think it offers good amount of spin, and you're not going to feel any difference about it.
Yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to touch on is who is this paddle for,
exactly.
Right? I mean, it's super well balanced out of the box. Absolutely fun art. Who doesn't want that? But it's certainly not an upgrade paddle, right? So if you're a beginner and you want something that's not garbage and you're willing to pay an extra, like $10 or $20 compared to some of these really low-end paddles, you can actually get like the feel of like, something that has some qualities of a higher-end paddle. But I mean, if you can get one for $50, then it's just a great option.
$50, $60 if you're looking to get into pickleball and that's your budget, I definitely would look into this
and
paddle.
I love that it's an all-around paddle, right? So if you can get a feel of a decent amount of power, a decent amount of control,
and decent amount of spin
stuff.
as well, and so definitely a paddle to check out if you want to get into pickleball. You're not going to break the bank, but you're going to get a solid paddle. It weighs also well, so even if you want to start adding weight, you're not going to get too much of a problem. So we enjoyed playing with this paddle. Definitely something worth trying out. If you want to demo, please reach out to us. Again, you got to try a paddle to figure out what works for you. But as an entry paddle, I don't think there's many paddles out there that can beat this. Please subscribe. Please comment. We love hearing from you, and hopefully see you in another paddle review.